And now we will have Alexander Kurbatov to speak about how device UI UX design affects customer attraction and retention in the industry. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So my name is Alex, and I'm from vapetesting.com. So let's start. Today I will share a personal story with you, which, despite its subjectivity, pretends to be conveyed to a wider audience. The audience that follows the vape industry snapping edge of traditional cigarette. This is not a perfect thing to say on a vape show, but I still don't give up a classic solution. I've hardly ever let a cigarette out of my mouth. I've been extremely satisfied with it for the past, I suppose, 15 years. So, of course, sometimes I think of quitting smoking or finding a less harmful alternative in the already limitless world of vaping. However, these aspirations boil down to constantly forgotten promises to my wife to make this my last cigarette. So the problem is not even in the habit and addiction. The problem is more complex. I enjoy smoking. I enjoy every puff, every 5 minutes break that cigarette brings me. At the same time, I realize that my choice, that my comfort, is a violation of the comfort and health of people around me, as well as harm I cause to my health. So in the moments when the desire to replace the classic solution with something more up-to-date is particularly sharp, I have a complicated problem that I still can't cope with. So the problem consists of several fundamental reasons and features that affect the adoption or non-adoption of vaping. I'm sure each of these reasons is significant for all segments of crowded audience of smokers. So there are some reasons. First of all, it's pricing. The majority of smokers are far from being idiots. They understand how the subscription-based model works and appreciate the cost of investing in a device, as well as in subsequent ongoing purchase of consumables, maintenance, and the purchase of an upgraded device. So the second one is safety. Some smokers are idiots anyway. By the way, I'm one of them. So 10 years ago, I just made my first attempt to switch to vaping. I bought a no-name e-cigarette brand somewhere in Belgium, and to tell the truth, it looked like a regular cigarette with a red light on the end, and it was made from a really cheap plastic. So it may have been very cool, but I had no idea when I should stop smoking it. So after an hour and a half of active smoking, the cigarette didn't give up as I had. So, however, I want to tell you today how important it is for the average traditional smoker to understand the path limitation in today's vape devices. Despite the tragicomic story, the grey cartridge market remains one of the biggest safety concerns. Unaware new buyers buy untested products from unverified vendors, and then the reputation of the entire industry suffers from cases of serious respiratory illnesses allegedly related to vaping, but not human factors. So the third one is legality. There are several devices on display at our show that are customized for CBD liquids. I assure you I would be one of the first buyers of such devices if they were legislated in my country. The traditional smoker is used to having their product even regulated but allowed everywhere, almost anywhere in the world. The vapers, especially those using CBD or Untitled devices, can't be sure of that. So the fourth one is a flavor equivalent to a classic solution. I doubt anyone would disagree with me with the importance of this reason, even if the device solves several mentioned problems, but does not correspond to the taste and feel of classic solution. It will never win over those who still choose traditional solutions. It can become just a permanent toy and entertainment, but not a lifestyle. And so the fifth one, it's our topic today, UI and UX design. So cigarettes, cigarillos, cigars and smoking pipes completely created the way of smoking in the 20th century. In the early days of vaping, there were two directions. Some companies copied the design of conventional cigarettes, while others tried to create futuristic designs that ended up with some kind of inconvenient and bulky devices to use. So to attract new users today, the device must be easy to use with a simple design that is pleasing to the eye and touch. So know that corporations and startups are moving in this direction. Today we will take a more in-depth look at how this is happening. At the moment, the industry is headed in the direction of minimalism. Both BET and PM spin-offs and major vape corporations like Enjoy are striving to get rid of unnecessary parts and buttons. Most vape users and startups love this. The vast majority of running startups dream of developing their own devices that would be as successful as iPhone in the world of mobile phones. Usually, there is only a desire behind it. Does the market need new IQOS clone, or will this design gain new users from the traditional segment? Even if such a demand is met, the design of the device may not allow a user to obtain the device's simplicity and usability. We will be able to retain the user after the first few attempts to use it. For example, I don't need an iPhone. I have already got one. This simple and user-friendly ecosystem, minimalist design, and unlimited digital features are what makes the phone incredibly attractive. Apple devices have revolutionized their segment. However, why are we focusing only on this segment? Today, the realm of human activity called consumer electronics has expanded far beyond from home and personal electronics, wearable devices, and e-cigarettes. For example, the automotive industry today is also consumer electronics. Today, cars can also be IoT devices like many vapes, but so far no one has compared them until today's presentation. So, within the automotive world, every segment, and to some extent even a brand, satisfies a specific user needs through design. So if you want the sensational, the main purpose of the car, to move from A to B, just take Caterham. If you want some type of classic solution with modern technology, Morgan is just for you. So, and if you want luxury and unrivaled comfort, just buy Bentley. So thus none of the world brains rush to copy the Tesla design solutions. The automotive world has embraced the trend of technology, but not the design. The original and distinctive design is still one of the key elements in making purchasing decisions in the automotive world. Meanwhile, the notion of UI and UX design is also far from being unified. Just look at the controls in today's Hyundai and Kia vehicles. Do you consider the abundance of buttons to be a minimalistic solution similar to the others? At the same time, it's incredibly convenient to operate every function in their cars. So, at very least, this makes us believe that the pursuit of blindly copying device and app designs would lead to the loss of some potential users. They may begin to doubt that finding a solution for the problem is not a simple, convenient and accurate task for their needs at some point. To be successful in this area, for each product you need to add several steps in the product development process. So, first of all, it's market research and feasibility study stage. This is a pre-development stage. So at this stage it's necessary to research the market segment and target audience to compare the market needs and the implementation aspects for the future. It's necessary to conduct in-depth market research and have the relevant data in full. Also, it's always worth paying attention to the fact that even industrial designers with experience in UI and UX do not always propose feasible solutions, technologically feasible solutions. However, to create an advanced product, it's necessary to observe and understand the balance of needs, design, and technology. So, the next one is the testing stage. I will not dwell on the parallel process of QA and QC during production, the quality of which, of course, affects the final product. I will note that testing the finishing device in laboratory conditions and in focus groups is a necessary stage. Focus groups, organized in accordance with the requirements of modern sociology, can be an important tool in understanding the perception of a new product. A well-chosen laboratory will reveal technical weaknesses as well as provide expert opinion on user interface design. It's through technical testing that you can identify defects that affect user experience. Here I will list some tests that are necessary before the product goes to market. So it's puff count test, pressure drop test, EMP test, e-vapor density test, porto-cartridge leakage test, porto-cartridge design and construction review, and battery test. It's just a necessary test to start going with your advanced product. So most of these tests can be done at your local laboratories, just to be transparent with you. But only specialized vape laboratories can conduct comprehensive testing and provide an expert report and recommendations. I can't name specific companies from this scene, but they're easy to find via Google. There are only a few such labs in the world. So to be sure you found the right one that offers comprehensive quality testing, I'll give you a quick checklist just to help you to make right choice. So, experienced staff. Staff with expertise in hardware product development. Employees who understand the R&D process, production and quality control will bring much more added value to vape testing. They know the weak spots of the production and understand where the defects of final product may be. So, the second one is the equipment. Some tests require specialized equipment. It's not a secret, I suppose. Pay attention to the availability of vape testing machines. Some like a Borgwald, Harcourt Analytical Complex, so Cerulean and Graham Research. So I suppose that's basically all that I wanted to tell you. So feel free to ask your questions after the session, I suppose, and I'll be really glad to answer them. So my contacts are on the slide. So thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.
I have a comment and a question as well. The comment is I would like to compliment what Fadi said, that it's not only a shout out for the consumer himself, the adult smoker himself, to make a choice between waiting for 20 years until the clinical trials and everything else, the tests are 100% positive that these are reduced risk products, but it's a shout out for the governments, regulators, that is working in scientific institutions as well to provide the space for companies, for scientific research, and specifically for the industry to put more effort for a way to prove that these products might be developed into a 100% zero risk. So it's not only about the consumer, but we call out for the governments as well to provide legislations, regulatory frameworks, and as well taxation and fiscal treatment. How? By providing the space on companies that is producing these products should be able to provide more funding to scientific research. And by that, informing the consumers, adult smokers, about not only positives, but also negatives and risks. Like Fadi said, the best thing is to quit all tobacco products, all nicotine products altogether. But if you cannot, would you really wait? And you as a government, as a regulator, would you try out another 20 years of living with cigarettes until you find out that there is something that used to be called a potentially reduced risk product? On the innovation side, you've spoken about examples from the world. We've seen how people dealt with Tesla and how it developed. There is a lot of stories about that. How do you see the innovation happening on the electrical side, on the liquid side, from now till 20 years ahead? And where do you see the industry role in providing substantiation, not only a magnificent electronic product, but also a scientific substantiation on the innovative side of these products? Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much for your question. First of all, I should comment one more thing. So I don't think that innovation is responsible. It's just a technology, it's just an innovation themselves. So it's just nuclear technology, nuclear energy, and so on and so forth. So just for example. So that's first of all. And so just to compare all these things with the automotive industry, I just want to show that automotive industry is rather, it's not like a vaping industry at all. So I'm just a traditional smoker and I'm here on the Vape Show, and so I see the majority of the devices are similar to each other. So I'm not okay with it. I just want to switch to vaping, but I want to have different exercises, different vapes that will be different from each other. So, but for me, it's quite not similar to automotive industry. Just for example. So, and if you speak about Tesla and Tesla solutions, it's not an innovation. Tesla just reinvented the previous technology, and as I suppose Elon Musk said about it also. So there are no inventions in their cars. So, and but they started the trend. They started a new trend because the technology paradigm today allows us to use this invention that was invented in the previous 50 years, I suppose. And all the automotive brands are in the trend of this technology, but not in the trend of the design. So they have their original design, and it's great. It's really great to have such designs. So, but Tesla design is also okay. So that's it. Thank you.